Testing audio. Testing audio. All right. I am back. Been a while since I've been streaming, so I'm just gonna take this very, very low key. And basically, what I'm gonna do is just code away. And if anybody has any questions, just ask them away. I'll try to answer whatever I see. So I have updated this a little bit with my software. So now I have a triple window set up. So we can move from window to window here. Try to follow whatever I do. Yeah. That's it. So what we are doing today is basically just working on a mini game for my hacking minigame. So yeah, all right. So I don't know how long I'm gonna do it. I just want to do a test stream again here and see if things are working like they're supposed to. Double check my chat here on YouTube. Oh shit, that's not good. Put my face in the middle of the subscribe button. That oh, it makes me prettier though, but yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna move it up a little bit, I think. Hey man, how you doing? Let's see if I get that shot. There we go. Oh, thanks, man. Right now I'm just trying to set everything up so it works. See. Switcher. Stop that. Text. Move my ugly face up a little bit. Start again. See if that makes a difference. I guess. All right. Cool. Yeah, as I said, I've been away from streaming here for 6 months. So right now it's just get things working and continue working. That's all I'm gonna do. So yeah. So right now I'm working on a minigame, hacking minigame. So I need to right now I'm working on calculated allowed times. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah. Uh, so let's see. See where the hell am I? So this is the level, the allowed time on for the actual object, and then we have a hacking module that do a multiplication function and spits out a baseline time depending on the level of the hacking tool we're using. We're also going to have something else, but I don't have that set up. We're going to have some kind of boosts. So you should be able to get extra boosts to increase time and so on, so on. But I think that's something we can do later. Let's see here. So we have to calculate allowed time. That goes into my activate ability. Oh my god, that is old. Jesus. Well, I hope it helped you. Nice. Yeah, it was something I came up with, and because I couldn't find it online myself, so I came up with it around like, yeah, I'll put it in there. Let's see here. So let's take a look what we're actually doing here. I'm gonna start this up. Yeah, this project is taking all of my time right now. I was thinking about doing some other tutorials and stuff like that, but I just haven't had the time or the energy. Been doing a lot of things, regular work and stuff, and then doing this on the side. And yeah, somehow doing a 10-minute tutorial takes me like a freaking day. So, it's not really what I love to do either. So, let's see where the window come up. I've been setting up my new streaming thing, so I don't really know exactly where all the windows are going to pop up, which screen. Waiting for that right now. I set up a new monitor system. No, that was the problem. I couldn't find that either. It was definitely a problem with when I came up with that. And then I watched some other video. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was something from what's their faces from Unreal Engines. Their weekly tutorial stuff. And somebody asked about that, how you filtered out things, and they tried to come up with a solution on the fly that wasn't really correct. So I made the video and then I put it into their comment section there. So like, look at this video, it might help you out. And that was the reason I actually created it as well, was because I saw that other people struggled with it. There's so much in here that is, you got to put pieces together to get the result that you want. I have a whole thing I can show you, but that I want to do a tutorial on, but it's such a big challenge to do. And that is my radial menu system. I'll move this up here. And where's my window? Hello? Where the hell are you? This is interesting. Got it right here, but come on, man. Oh, maximize. There it is. Jesus. Anyway, yeah, it's this radial menu that I have here. This is all made from scratch. Yeah, happens all the time, man. But this is built all from scratch. There's no buttons, no nothing. It's just images and materials. And it's all calculated in code. And that was something I couldn't really find any good solution for. So I built my own. So basically it's not buttons. So all I have to do if I want to, we're working on a hacking game here right now. Just release on this button. And my menu, well, my hacking, my targeting function starts up, and then when that targeting is done, then we get this hacking window that is really not even barely touched the surface on this. But this is supposed to be 10 slides, and you need to get the right code within a certain time. And the lower level of the box you have, the less of these bars you're going to have to fix. And you have to fix them in a certain order, and that order we're going to come up down here. And those numbers will only be populated depending on the level of your module that you are hacking with. Yeah, so it's kind of complicated, but that's what I've been working on for a while. Right now, we're looking at this time need to be started to update according to my hacking ability calculation down here. Allowed time. So this calculator allowed time need to update here. So we need to do a. Oh, this is C++. All my code is in C++ here. Jesus, I have so much C++ code here. And when it comes to that widget, it's a material and a widget blueprint, of course, that handles it. But all the calculations happens in C++ because it's too much. If I was supposed to put that into a blueprint, I probably could do it, but it would be like a massive, massive blueprint that would just be crazy. Yeah, the radio menu, yeah. I could probably put it together in Blueprint, but it would take me a while to figure out all the ins and outs. But it would be kind of crazy. So you can go down to my radial. Let's see, UI. With your controllers. I don't think it's in here, is it? I don't remember exactly where the calculations happen, but yeah, calculate segment. This is the calculation of segments, depending on, so because it needs to be every object here need to be different, right? But this one has 3. They got the naming of the object. We're opening the container or the internal storage. We'll get the information of the actual character. But on this guy over here, that is not my character. Now we have a targeting object. We can look at him. We have information. We can't look in his storage, and we cannot, for example, rename this object. Down here, this is not mine, secure container. So we get a hacking. We can target it. We got some information on the container, and we can look at the actual container. This guy here, the targeting has been replaced with stop targeting. We still have the hacking. We can look at it, and we got information. Down here, the red one is not a non-secure one, so we can just go into it. It's actually owned by us, so we can rename it. We can target it if we want to destroy our own container. We can open it. We can pick it up. We have some information if we want information about the box, and we can look at it. And all those things is calculated in this code. How many? Let's see, wrong one here. So we got a clear controller. We got the access IDs is actually current access IDs, because if you look at one of these guys here, we want to know, because a secure container in this setup, you can actually give access to your squad, your organization, or your alliance to access that container. And this is actually checking those. This one is checking if you're getting your current access IDs, your alliance, your squad, and your organization that you're in, or your org, and that has some access IDs. And then you take these access IDs and you check it with. You use that further down here. Exactly where to. Let's see. Just do that. Access IDs here. So we're going to show open. That's a function that I put in to check the target actor, the access IDs, and the my controller ID. And then it does its little magic in saying that should we show it, etc. And then we have all these things telling it exactly what segments is going to be shown for your character, depending on what you're looking at and who you are. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on there. And this is all for this stuff, right? So yeah. And then we got the selection current object. This is probably not going to be too freaking hard to do in Blueprints when I'm thinking about it, because this is basically an enum. And then you just return the enum is built on the selected option, which is a eRadial options enum that I created. So I could probably put this together pretty easily in Blueprints as well when I'm thinking about it. And then of course we got our segment values, so we have a selection value, what we're hovering over, and how to calculate that. That is this is the radial icon, so we set that in code as well, what icon is going to be on what segment. Selected shards, which shard is currently selected. Yeah, create dynamic materials, open container, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so you see it's a lot. Yeah, anyway, this is actually the actual let's see, change name. No, something else. This is pickup. Let's see, where do we calculate the actual what we're hovering over? That might not even be in here actually. That is probably in the player controller, because I'm using the player controller to do that calculation. But basically what that is that we're hovering. It calculates from the center of the widget, and then it measuring, it's checking where on this in the screen space center is, where my mouse is right now in screen space, and then it does a calculation. So in the calculation knows which direction from center I am. So we get a degrees, and then we limit that degrees into just being over the actual buttons. So that's how that works. Easy to explain, right? Then when you actually sit with it, like, okay, what the hell do I do here? Anyway, so what we want to do right now, anyway, is that we are going to look at the time here and see if we can update that time. So we are in our hacking ability, and we are calculating the time. Let's see here, so we get this down. Success fail, shut down inform. There, calculate hack allowed time, and we're doing that here, right? Been a couple of days since I looked at this code, so it takes me. There we go. Calculate allowed time. And let's see here. Get play controller, client, create hacking windows. So we're gonna have two calculations, right? We're gonna have one on the server. That's gonna be the master calculation. And then we're gonna have one on the client, which will be a slave calculation. Um, so the one on the client will only be for viewing purposes. And the reason we do that is so we don't have to, let's say you have a longer calculation on the client and you send it and say the calculation on the client is the master, then all of a sudden you can go in and just change your clock on the computer, and all of a sudden boom, you extended the time, you minimize, so you can easily cheat with that. What we're doing here is we create a master on the server. When that clock has gone down to 0, that calculation has gone down to 0, it will terminate the minigame, say you failed, no matter what the calculation on the client is. Otherwise, we have to send, every time we do a calculation on the server, we send it to the client, say, hey, update this, update this, update this. And that can be, let's say you do it every second or every half second. That means that every half second you need to do a network call to the client. And if we say that you do its own calculation on the client, then the client will keep track of that. We don't have to send any information to the client until something happens, for example, that we are failing, or if the client says, hey, he want to increase the boost, he want to add a boost here to give himself some more time, for example. I haven't gotten into exactly how that's going to work, but let's say you do that, then you can boost. Fucking Twitch, they haven't done anything with the fucking bot on Twitch. It's just amazing. There. All right. This is something there was two things I hated when I was streaming. Number one was, of course, bots like this. Best streamers, blah 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 blah. F off. And this is one. Can't hide the user. Yeah. Anyway. So where the hell were we? Okay. So we just want to send message between the server and the client when something actually is happening. So that's what we need to do here. We need to do a calculation load time, and then we are doing a create hacking window here on the only controller, which is a play controller. So we're sending an info struct here. Let's take a look at that info struct a little bit quickly here to see exactly what we have in there, because we can just put that in there. It's in item data. Let's see there. Oops. Here, hacking infrastructure. So we got a stored handle, is a F gameplay ability spec handle, and we got the hacking manager component in here. There's something I might not even need, but so we can just put in something else in here as well, because this goes straight to the client, and then the client has access to this. So let's put in a float value. Add this as well. I'm adding these edit anywhere, blueprint, read, write, everywhere, because you never know what's happening in the future. Let's say that my freaking game gets picked up somehow. And then my code will be able to put it to some kind of game designer, and everything is already blueprint enactable. Allow time. Right? So now our struct has an allowed time, and shut down. Where were we? Activate. Here we go. Calculate allowed time. Let's get a return of float, right? Active success. Shut down. What am I doing here? Here. It returns a float. Yeah. No matter how much I advance in blueprints, I create even my own tools. Still can't understand C++ jargon. Too bad since. Yeah. It takes some time. You really need to dedicate yourself into it. I mean, it's the same thing. Blueprint is C++. It's just different ways of approaching the same problem, right? But it takes some time to really understand what functions are doing and not just how to use them. I think that's the most. That's why I try to learn C++ to understand what, when I drag in something in a for example, I drag in a box or something like that into blueprints. I wanted to know what actually is happening under the hood, and how can I change that to do whatever I want it to do. So I think that's what it came down to, that I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do, what they could do, but I wanted to be able to change it to do a little bit different. I use this to calculate this, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to calculate that. Plus I wanted to change it because of something else that coming in. That's where I came down, that I wanted that to happen, and I couldn't get it to work in blueprints without, a lot of other stuff had to happen. And remove that. So I started really looking into C++, and I took some course, and it took me. I mean, I've been training blueprint for probably 4 years. And it's only last year that I actually started picking up. If you look at my videos from October this year, I could do basics, but I was basically lost. In the last 6 months that I really started picking it up. Arch switch. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, BP. I mean, Blueprints is built on C++. You could technically go in and modify how Unreal Engine is working from the base. You have all the code. Everything is open source. You can go dig in and build your engine. You can change your engine, how that is handling things with the C++ code. But that's way above my pay grade. But you technically could do that. And the thing is that you can do calculations in C++ that you can't do in Blueprint. Yeah, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to progress. I spent roughly 30-40 hours a week for the last 6 months. And it's only in the last month and a half that I feel that every time I come across a problem, I know that I have no problem going back and find the issue fairly fast. You know, those times when you sit there and like, what the hell is happening? And you sit there for 2 days and you cannot find what the hell it is. But now, I usually take the longest I have is if I'm not very tired. You know, in the end of the day, you just can't get your brain to work. It's just not working. Uh, then it takes longer time, but usually it takes like 15-20 minutes, and then I'm good to go. I fix the problem, and 99.9% is because I either didn't call a function, or for some reason something is a null pointer, and usually that is once I find out what is the null pointer, I can backtrack and see why is it a null pointer. It worked last time here, and now it's not working. What's changed? Well, I did this, and okay, wait a minute. Oh, this is a null point because of this. I usually have flipped the order around or something like that. But it takes a long time to get that working, and that's why people have been doing this for 20 years, 30 years. Are very good at that particular thing. But that's also something that people need to, when you get into C++, is to start learning how to troubleshoot, learning how to bug fix and chase bugs, and understand why bugs come up, and understand pointers, and when to, especially when you, like, this whole project is about reprocess. We talked about servers and clients and RPCs, and what can be replicated by Unreal Engine and what cannot be replicated, because that was a big thing for me, is to understand what cannot be replicated in Unreal Engine, because there are things that cannot, no matter what you do, it cannot be replicated. For example, easy thing is this, as a U object will not be replicated. And I had, when I started out this project, I had no idea about that. So when I started working with it, my whole station store system was built on U objects inside structs. Every time I go to update an item, I had to recreate the entire U object every time I was replicating, because it doesn't get replicated. So when it doesn't get replicated, you need to recreate the missing item, missing object, and that works fine for items in a storage. But when you build your entire storage as a U object, all of a sudden you cannot replicate the storage. Then you get in trouble, and that's where I ended up. And I had to rebuild the whole thing and start using a station storage actor instead of a station storage object. So the actor is something that's in the world, and things like that takes a while to sort of make your head understand and grab these things, and start to see why certain things happens. And that I think is the big problem when people get into C++. I mean, learning how to do this, like, oh, this is a float, and this is a int, and this is a T map. Okay, what's a T map, and why does it face void? Those small things is what people think. Then they go to coding like, oh, this is hard. Well, once I get this concept down, then I will understand it. But then it's, they struggle, and they hit the next wall and the next wall and the next wall, and they give up. They just don't go further in and try to understand why things are happening. And that's why, I think a lot of people stumble and fall, and then they don't get up and don't get back in to really understand what the whole thing is about. I mean, I am far away from understanding everything. I'm just to nibble at the edges of more advanced coding. I mean, just start using sets. That was something that was completely new for me. T set. Why am I using a T set? What is a different algorithms we can use to subside. When we compare code with each other, how to compare structs with each other. What is a struct versus a struct? How can we compare these two? Things like that. And to me, it's just amazing. I wish I started doing this 20 years ago, but hey, that's the way it is. Anyways, so now we got our infrastructure here that is sent to the client to create a hacking window. And we are adding the allowed time to that. And we calculate the allowed time, and that is a separate calculation that is just picking up some information when we are triggering this this ability. And now we're sending that to our client here. Boom. So now the client will know exactly how much time we have. But that's not enough. We need to do another thing. We need to create a master timer. That's what we need to do. So now the client has the time. Now our master needs to have a time, so we need to create that. So we need to have like an F timer handle and stuff like that. And this is what they talk about when they talk about copy pasting code from other places. It's because it's so much, and you're like, okay, I'm using this every 3 months. Okay, I'm supposed to remember. I know exactly how to use a timer. You start a timer, you end the timer. You have an F timer handle, but the exact code, I don't remember that. Jesus, but I have it in my everything in here. Yeah, no, they have specialties, absolutely. Some people are really good at, understanding and building actually engine. To me, I don't really care so much about how the engine works right now. I probably will at some point. To me, it's more about learning how to put the things together. So we need an F time. Let's see here. If we go down here into my pod widget, I think in my master widget controller, I think I have. Yes, look at this. Got the timer handle here. This this could be private. This is gonna be master timer handle. Let's see. These things. Yes, you're gonna rename them a little bit differently. Remove delay. See what the hell? Look at that. Because we need to have two things. We need to have the allowed time. Allowed time. And then we're gonna have a update time. So it's gonna let's see, it's gonna change the we're gonna have a clock that's checking every like 1 second, 0.5 seconds, let's say. So it's gonna restart the timer every half second. So the timer is just gonna be half a second. Allowed time is going to be checked. So let's see, generate that. Boom. Just double check how we did it here. I don't freaking remember exactly. So there we go. Right. This. Let's see here. Timer handle. And this is packing. Oh, we need a function, of course. What's gonna happen when the timer is done? So void. What are you gonna call it? Countdown. Ability. Countdown. No. Minigame countdown. Here we go. Put that in there. And this, of course, has to be a U function because it's a callback function. There we go. Boom. And the rate is going to be update time, right? There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. And this other thing is just a clear timer. So we're going to get the world. Timer manager, clear timer, and the handle is this guy. Nice. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our allowed time is the thing we need here. So let's take a look at do it here. All right. So technically what we need to do is check if hey Depender. Yeah. I've been thinking about streaming for a good bit, but I don't know. Freaking dogs. Oh my god, Luke is back. Hey Coltrane. Oh. Oh. So. Yeah, so I was thinking about, I've been thinking about streaming for a long time, but I've been working, and then, you know, I took everything too serious, and that is something I need to work on, to not take things serious. I just need to work and do whatever I do. But it's like I start looking at the freaking viewer count, and I start looking at how many looked at my videos, and like, okay, I've done this 40 times and nobody fucking watching it, or you get 40 views. I appreciate that you guys watched and stuff like that. It's not that. It's just that all of a sudden it start building up stress, and for me, building up stress is not a good thing for me. So I really went like, no, I can't do this. It's too stressful right now. I need to work on it a little bit. So I'm trying to go into this more of a just do it kind of deal. Yeah, it's been 5 months, but that doesn't mean I haven't done anything. I've been working my ass off on this fucking thing. I can tell you that. Well, not my ass off. That's a strong word, but I've been working a lot on it. So yeah. So we have, since last stream, things that we have implemented. I have a mining system. I have a full storage system. I got containers in the world. I have unsecure containers. Working right now on the secure containers with the hacking modules. I got a mining system. I got a reprocessing system. I haven't gotten to damage yet, but that's a normal progression. Is that that will come very soon because this is a secure. Thank you, man. This is secure. We're working on a secure container with a mini hacking game, and if you fail the hacking, some kind of damage need to be produced to your vehicle, depending on the size of the box or container. On top of that, after that, we're gonna start working on mines. You can place out mines in the vicinity, and if somebody come too close that are not on your safe list. Yeah, no, it's not that I disappeared. I just, you know, world is this crazy place, and sometimes you just feel that you want it too much, and when you want something too much, then it just goes to shite. Yeah. Yeah, that's I actually haven't done anything since that when it comes to that. What I wanted to do was build a second, because that's a big thing. You're supposed to be able to change between vehicles. So I need to build a second vehicle. I haven't gotten to that. I've been stuck into all this other stuff. Oh yeah, I lost my finger. So yeah, I'm a 4-finger man now. But I'm up to speed when it comes to typing, so I'm okay now. It's so much better. I can actually use my hand. So that surgery was early December. But the problem is my other hand starts to bothering me. So I talked to a surgeon, and they were going to take a look at that, hopefully. Yeah. So now I have a contraction thing. So what happens is that my tendons start building up. Things start building up on my tendons, and what happens is that my fingers start pulling in. And all of a sudden, you end up in a situation where the finger is basically stretched into the palm of your hand, and you can't use it at all. You can't grab anything. It's just in the way. And it's fine. It's it's a genetic thing. They call it the Viking disease because it's very common that it was the Vikings that spread it out the world. So it's very common in Scandinavia, Ireland, northern France, and parts of the US. Well, the rest of the world go like, what the hell is that shit? Anyway, so mine went a little bit too far. You're supposed to take care of it in the early stage, and I didn't. And what happened was that they open up my hand and start, removing these things from your tendons, and the tendon got broken. It broke. And what they had to do was recreate the tendon, and that would take me off my fucking hand for a year. I was like, no, it's not happening. When the tendon broke, what happened was that I couldn't bend my finger at all, so it was sticking straight out instead. And I was like, this is not working. I mean, I can't do anything with this hand. So I decided to take the finger off. So it was my decision. They said that they could do a reconstruction and pull in a new tendon and attach it, but it would take about a year before it was all said and done. And I was like, I can't do that. I just can't. I want to live my life. I'm starting to get old. I'm not a young kid anymore. So the decision was mine, and I took it, and I'm happy I did. All right, Coltrane. I'm gonna get the dog out. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. All right. Get so up. Yeah, I mean, I have to be positive. I mean, there's no reason not to. It is what it is, and you know, no point in sitting down and crying about it. All right. So let's see. So what do we want to do here? Well, we want to start the timer, and that's half a second. And when the timer counts down, we want to take the allowed timer, and then we're going to minus equal that, equal to update time, right? Okay. If allowed time is less or equal, not really use this. I'm using an American keyboard now instead, and I still haven't really learned that equal is just equal. In the Swedish keyboards, it's shift 0 to get an equal. Get a plus because that's the shift equal thing on the US keyboard. Yeah, I have a Samsung phone. We're poor here in Ireland. No, I just don't understand why you have to pay so much for a fucking iPhone. Crazy. Especially now the price is probably going to skyrocket here. Even worse. So if it's less or equal to 0, then we want to call let's call hacking failed. That's just fine. So hacking failed is the function that we call whenever we fail a hack. So basically what it's doing is that it's going to end the ability. And the end ability is, where are you? You're up here somewhere, I think. Yeah, here. So the end ability, what it does is that it removes the gameplay tag for hacking in progress, which is applied whenever we start the ability. And it does that both from the owner, our vehicle, and from the target, the container that we are actually hacking. The next thing that it does is down here is it's going to the current ASC and make sure that it knows that the ability is terminated, because that's going to remove certain things. No, that's in the else. Sorry, what the fuck am I talking about? Need to do something else. Oh, right. This is first because it does this 2 times. End ability happens first on the server and then it happens on the client. Sorry. So first, it going a loop here on the server. And that's when that happens. And then it do a second round and it's on the client. And that's when we are removing the widget from remove the widget. And we are also terminating the ability on the client side. So we know, everything gets cleared up. Sorry, it's like, Samsung is cheap. I've been using mine for 7 years. Oh, I don't know. I upgraded it when I had a, I have a subscription with 3 and it ran out, so I was updating it. I had one of those Chinese phones lost, and I decided not to continue with those. So I got the Samsung. What the hell? Are they playing Christmas songs in this fucking thing? Thank you. What am I saying? Oh yeah, so I paid like, I don't know, €100 for it or something like that for another 2-year contract. So it was fine. I have a pretty good contract. I think I pay €30 a month, and it's all you can eat data, and so it's and free calls. So I never pay anymore. It's only when I call other countries, and that doesn't happen often. So let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, let's see. So now we're going to just make sure this calculation will work. I'm gonna start the timer here. However, we need to update the allowed time as well. And that needs to be the calculated allowed time. So it's going to be the same. So we can just do this, so we don't have to do the calculation one more time. Now we're just grabbing that time. Boom. And right now with the system is 30 seconds. So let's just run it. And that's it. 30 seconds. Goes quickly, right? Yeah, well, it depends on what country you're in, I guess. Oh, well, you don't want to know where I fucking spent 2 days ago here playing poker. Jesus. I played the Irish Open on Monday. I won the ticket, so it wasn't right. I paid the full price, but the value on it was 1,150. And then I was out to level 5, where it's like it was ridiculous. And then I went and played some cash. I won €400 in the cash, and then I spent it trying to get into the main open again. I spent like €400 on that. Oh, horrible. And then I was just too tired in the end. Just played like poker for like 14 hours. It's fucking crazy. So I'm not gonna do that again for anytime soon. Anyway, so basically what we have here now is that we have going to start this. When we start it, you can just put a check here just to make sure. It will start the calculation, of course, to target the object itself. And then we are in here, and we can look at the load time here. Make sure that it's 30 seconds. I don't know why this goes so slow sometimes. Extremely slow. Oh yeah, we have some new stuff here. New stuff. Come on. There we go. Start calculation. I mean, everything takes a millisecond when you're in the actual in the game. But here sometimes when I'm doing one of these stops, here we go. Allowed time is 30 seconds. So that is exactly what I was expecting. Just start this again. So now this starts here, and I know it's a long time to wait with 30 seconds. I could just do a couple of things to make that update. But what I want to see here in 30 seconds is that it's going to disappear. This whole thing, the hacking window is going to disappear. And this will do down here is going to stop blinking. And that is when we know that the actual thing is actually working. And what you need to do is do some things to stop. What you can do is actually I can go down in here. Do that. It doesn't do anything. So why is that not doing anything? Start update timer. Update time. Okay. Something is off. That is not working. I wonder why. Let's see. Start remote timer. Let's see here. Why is that not working? Yeah, we're skipping that. So that's in here. I can build a minute countdown game. Master timer handle, update time. Let's just take a look at the update time. 0.ff. Oh, there we go. 30, 0.5. Okay. Oh, shoot. Damn, I don't call it again. Ah. Let's see. See? Small fucking things you do mistakes on because you forget about it. So if the allowed time is less than 0, then we're going to call the hacking failed. Otherwise, we're going to restart the timer. We don't do that. So let's restart this whole thing. Yeah, when it comes to new stuff, I have it's quite a bit from when we were here 6 months, 5 months ago. Talked about the secure containers, the regular containers. So the green one is secure containers. Red one is other containers. We have inventory systems for everything. That's what we're trying to get into that one. With the inventory systems for this one. Different coloring. I mean, small fucking things. I don't know. It's a lot. So We got some mineable rocks down here. We have mining systems that can handle that. All right, so now we have 0.5, we have the 30, and now we're supposed to come over and over again, yeah. 29, 28.5, yeah, so we can stop that guy there. Yes. Oh, wrong one. This is where we want it to click. There. Let's see here if this appears. Yeah, nice to see you, Zlatan, though. Welcome in, and hope to see you later for another day. I don't know how long we're going to stream today. Thank you. Trying to just get into this again. Streaming thing. Oh, hacking failed has been triggered. So we are in here. So let's see. Yeah. Disappeared. The window disappeared. And our little dude down here is gone. So, and we can target these again. Well, target. We can press the hacking button, which we have here. And that's one thing we actually can't do when this is open. That little hacking thing is not there no more. So one other thing we need to address here before we move on is what happens if we exit with the X up here or the exit button while we are hacking. At that point we need to clear, there we go, we need to clear the timer if that happens. Let's see, we're gonna clear it in, let's do it in the failed here. Shut down, hacking failed. Here we go. We do it at here is probably good. Clear let's see. Let's do a clear remove timer no matter what. And then we're shutting down the ability. There we go. That means that it will be clean and ready to go whenever we shut it down, which we don't have to worry about that. It doesn't shut down automatically. Let's see. Always will be shut down here. Good. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to address what happens here. Our allow time goes into our struct and it's going to be sent to our controller and then through an RPC to the client so we can actually update our timer in our widget. So let's look at the player controller. Very processing main controllers. Here we go. Player controller. There we go. And boom. Let's see. Client. What the hell do we call it? There we go. Boom. So in our client, we're getting our income hacking infrastructure, and we are adding the hacking widget with the struct, so we can just move on to the HUD. UI HUD. Go. Sometimes just jumping back and forth here. Where the hell? Oh, here. Down there. Okay, so here we got the HUD. We got the overlay controller, blah 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 blah. We got the widget, create a movable. Right. This is the widget. That's the struct we talked about. Let's just go there. If it is a hacking window, that it is, then we set the hacking info. And this is going to be on the widget controller. So view basic information widget controller is what we want to go. Basic information widget controller. It's jumping back and forth. We can close down these guys. This is why I have 1 million fucking windows open all the time. Let's see. I'm gonna look for hacking info. We're gonna go from this minimum information present, hacking window, finding scanner, contain inventory, Dropbox, counter widget, reprocessing window, deployment settings, hacking window. Here we go. And we're creating a hacking window widget, and we're passing in the hacking window info. That's got to be the struct, right? Hacking info. Yeah, that's a struct. Right. So now we're going to open the hacking window controller. Sometimes I just have to go this route instead of just trying to target straight away to make sure that I don't miss anything on the way. Hacking. There we go. This here. Boom. Okay. We got the hacking info. It is set. Close these guys down. Don't need these right now. All right. So we need a function. We need a couple of functions here. I need the local counter, right? The client counter. And I need to set that into my widget controller. My widget needs that. Let's see here. What do we have here? Time text. We have a text block. We can actually update that. That's a key object pointer. We can update straight away. Awesome. Don't need to worry so much about the blueprint. This will be our target to update. So, see what happens here. We initialize control, we exit, we set it out, set the hacking info. When we set the hacking info, we can actually have just a function here just to make sure. Set hacking time or update hacking time. Maybe. Why am I thinking this? Thing is that I'm trying to think one step ahead here. So we want to update our hacking time, right? The total time that we have to hack. But we have that at the start with the 30 seconds that we have shown. But also, let's say that we implement some kind of system where you can add bonuses due to, if you have some kind of, I don't know, boost or whatever. Oh, I implemented a boost and now I want to add 10 or 15 seconds to my timer, or 30 seconds or a minute or whatever. Then we need to have something that will just add to the time. So we're going to have a base timeline, a void base timeline, and this will just add the time to that baseline time. So we're going to have a float and update time to update. Time to add would be a better word. So this will be a general thing. So we're gonna say our float. We're gonna have a time, right? Float time, and that's gonna be. They're gonna start out as 0. And then we are taking our, what are we doing? We take our allow time, and we adding and we storing back time to add, right? All right. Now we're gonna just update our time to add with the time there. Allow time, the 30 seconds they're coming in here. Now our allowed time becomes time. Okay. Let's do a whole thing about like we did before with the timer. I'm gonna have update time every half second. Same thing there. I'm gonna do all these actually. All 3 here. What am I doing here? We can remove that. And this is gonna be client time handle. Boom, boom. I'm gonna take our functions because we need those as well. All right. Let's see. Let's go down and just copy these guys here. All right. We need another function. These guys. Copy paste. So let's see. I'm gonna have our oh shit, wrong one. Minigame, what the hell? Oh, there we go. All right, so we're good there. Why are they still yellow? Let's update this and see what happens. So weird. All right. That's so weird. All right. We'll see. Might have to restart it. I'm just gonna take this one. Clear the timer on that one. And here we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna shit, guys. There we go. And we're not gonna do hack fail. Don't know if we need to do so much down here if the time is set to less than 0. We can set the text to error. Make sure that we know that something's gone wrong, because it's the server that's controlling if we are removing the actual if we're failing the minigame or not. It's not the client. All right. So what we can do is we can take our time text here. Let's see. Set text. And we're going to do an f text. Text. And the f text is just going to be ERR. And that is probably incorrect. Let's remove an f string. No? Shit, I never remember this. How the fuck did I do this? Member is inaccessible. What? Public. What are you talking about? Member in. The only thing I can think about is that I need to put these things into public, but it makes no sense to me. There we go. That's how I do it. Okay. Sorry. I don't know why it's so hard to remember these things. You know, sometimes. All right. So here we're gonna do is we're gonna say time text. Right. So let's see here. So I get this correct. Load time is a float. So I can't do to string or anything. Oh, I can. According to this. A standard. I don't know. Maybe. String. Time text. String equals. Did that work? No? Okay, so I can do that. I can just, oh, I can't do that. Okay, I can't think. Okay, oh, okay. I don't think I can use this. I got to transfer that. Oh, I gotta use a different system for this, and I'm gonna look it up. I don't remember exactly. I can't do that with a dog in my fucking lap. Right? She needs about 5 minutes of this every hour. Otherwise, she'll be pissed off at me. You done? You done? Okay. So that's it. Oh, we got it. Oh, there you go. Oh. So we have. Let's see here. We have something else. Where the hell did I put that? I think it was in the fitting window there. Fitting base. What's the problem? No, I have a system for it. Here. This is what we need. Value. It's about time, right? There. Text outgoing text. Now we can just do this. Then we're gonna set that one here. That's it. So what this is basically doing is that it recalculates to a minimum of 1 digit. And then it's setting that text. And then restarting that thing. So technically this should work. Test it out and see where the bugs come. And then I should really remember this, but I mean F number formatting options. And then take that, and then you have minimum fraction digits and maximum fraction. I mean, it's not that hard. And then you do an F text as number, and using that all the time, and the format option in a address format. And yeah, it's not that freaking hard, but for some reason some things don't stick. They just don't stick. All right. Here we go. So if this works, then we should have an automatic countdown of 30 seconds. And when that reaches 0, it should disappear. It does not. Great. Awesome. It does not. All right. Let's see. Figure out why that happened. Because we don't really do this, do we? Start. Update time. Oh, we don't even do it at all. All right. Let's do it here. Just for now. Restart that. see again. This works this time. Oh, I don't know. That is too. I want it every 0.1 second, but the calculation is there. See if it's what's happening. Go down to 0. Yep, perfect. Now we want to change this so this happens every 0.1 because that didn't look good at all. So we're gonna change this to 0.1 because this is on the client anyway. So we can, you know. Then if we want to inject some boosters, we can do that. That will injecting boosters need to go through the client, the server, of course. So we're updating that time first. Okay, let's target this again. There we go. Timer is there. Now, this is interesting because the client slows down. If I click on something else, you see that the timer goes out, gets slower because of local graphics cards. It slows down everything, right? But because this is on the server, technically, this should end earlier because this is like frame rate and stuff like that. There you go. Because it's on the server, you can't slow it down. We might need to do something about that, but that just shows that just because it goes slower on the client doesn't mean that you get more time. It will remove it because it's happening on the server. So that's actually perfect, right? So 10, 9, 8. And we can implement that when the time gets below a certain thing, we can start adding some color. Interesting. There was just 2 seconds there. The timer is clearly different on the client to what it is on the server. That is so what we can do is we can do a control check. Because if the timer on the client and the server is too distant from each other, that's not good. So we need to do a control check. Yeah, 3.5 seconds difference. That's not good. That's way too much. So let's say we want to do a control check every 3 to 5 seconds or something like that. Then we can't do an add time. We need to have a control check timer as well. So we can do is, but at least we don't need to send it every second. So we can have a control station here. Hacking time control station. control type. Okay. Control spells with one L, isn't it? There we go. So when you're gonna take the loud time equals the control time, of course. Station equals with one L as well. Okay. Okay, so what the hell do we do then? That is the problem, actually. However, so let's see. We can do if allow time remainder I think I remember this exactly how to do this. Oh shit. Let's do it. Let's see. Get up. I'm just checking out some code and trying to figure out exactly how we're gonna do this correctly. I could do it like this. I could either I do remainder here, or I do a separate timer of 3 seconds, and that's calculating down at the same time. And every 3 seconds, when it reaches 0, it sends an RPC. To avoid relying on point time, is that track to convert to net sync time. Let's see. Use a float accumulator and compare it with your sync interval. Yeah, so we need to have a sync interval here anyway. No matter what, we need to have a float sync interval. Interval. Say 5 seconds. Then we need to have a time sync. Just use a tick. I don't know if you can use tick in here. Yeah, that's what I thought. It doesn't have a tick function. Oh yeah, this is when we're gonna use ability tasks and such. I have never really worked with that. That needs to something I need to really concern myself with. So what we're gonna do that here. Let's see. Okay. Cool. So what we're gonna do here is we are going to just update inside this timer. So let's see here. Time since last sync. Minus equal. Time. So trying to figure this out on the fly here. So we get that. If I do it here, if I'm since last sync, no, I'm gonna do that plus equal, right? Because that is there, and if that is greater than sync interval, that happens. We're gonna call, let's do this, call function to sync time. So, and then we are going to reset sync interval time. No, we're going to reset that one to 0.0f. Make sure that that is just rounding around. And we are also going to do, no, fuck, wrong button. Let's see. I'm going to do that before we finish the hacking fail, so it syncs up to 0.0. Okay. Now we need to call that function. So we need to let's see here. Close this guy down. So let's see. There's a client on the create a function for that. We can separately do that. Let's see. Create a function. Not going to return anything. It's going to be a void. And we're going to do update client. Update sync update client time. Okay. Just function. I want to have it separate from the rest of the code there. So I'm just going to take this in here and do that. And that's there. Now we can set all the things here we need to do. So what do we need to do? We need to get the, yes, technically we're gonna use the same little bit like we did here. Take this. I'm not gonna use the code, just need to just not have to write everything. We need to have a client function on the play controller here. This side. And the play controller function we need to have here is this, basically. But I'm going to do something special with this client. Then we're going to do a void. And we are going to call that. Change this to client. So that's how we do an RPC, client RPC. And so now we need to know the hacking. Let's see. So we have that down here somewhere. Ugh. Blah, 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 blah. Jesus, where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Here we go. So we need to have the active hacking window. Okay, so if that is not a null pointer, we want to check that first. Just to make sure. Now we get the hacking window. So we need the controller for that, right? So let's see here. Want to have the controller, and that is called. Oh my god, we have it here. Backing window control. We're gonna get that. Boom. Let's see. Get controller. This returns a basic information with your controller, right? So we're gonna just encapsulate these into if statements just to because we're gonna drill down into this now. We're gonna chasing down through this and when we get into it, we'll get our hacking controller. Because if we look at this interactable, let's see, the controller is a U basic information controller, which we don't here at all. Nope. Get that. Fitting menu. There we go. So it's going to have in here, we're gonna have a widget somewhere. Hacking window. Here we go. There we go. That's as a sub prompt. It's not the right thing either. Do we not store it? Maybe we don't store it. I need to store this correctly. Let's see. Get the child, but I don't think we need to do that. See here. Move that over here. Just throw the right monitor. Mineable. Something else. Jesus Christ. Information with your controller. Hacking window. Here we go. Yeah, we need to be able to store this controller. That's where we want to be. So we're gonna get our basic. It's not the perfect way to do it. But hold on. We're on the client. Could actually store this. We could store this. Where the hell could we store it? We could store it in our UI manager, I'm thinking. And then we can grab that without drilling down. So if we store it in our UI manager, then we can do an easy pickup of that in our client RPC. We don't have to drill down because it's just going to be one hacking window controller at all times. You're never going to be able to hack two different objects. You're only going to have to just going to be able to hack one object at each time, and therefore you will never have a problem with having two hacking windows, and therefore we can store it in the UI. All right, so let's look at that. We're gonna open our UI widget controller manager. Where the fuck did I put that? Stored it here. I don't know why I stored it there in the inventory, but yeah. Anyway, so this is a UI subsystem, and a subsystem works that it has a subsystem on the server, it has a subsystem on the client. Each client has its own subsystem. If you make sure that when you are talking to the UI manager subsystem, that you know exactly where you are, then you always know what you can store in it. So, for example, my client will have a UI manager subsystem, and if I request to store something in there from the client, it will be stored on the client. But as soon as you request it, if you're trying to request it from the server, it won't be there anymore. That's why these UI things can be perfect to store things. So here, for example, I store all the data tables. I store other things, but mostly it's the data tables. And then I got a shit ton of functions where we can set it and we can grab it, and then we can use our function library to grab these things through the function library print function library. That's how we're gonna I think we're gonna do it here. So let's see, do I have any other things? Yeah, you see, I have a lot of things that use this exactly technique. And yeah, I think this is the best way to do this. I'm gonna grab this. I'm just gonna put that down here. And what is it we want? Well, we want the widget controller, right? You hacking widget controllers. We need to forward declare this. Come on. You don't want to forward? There we go. Thank you. And this is going to be active hacking window controller. All right. So we need two functions. We need a setter and a getter, right? We need to have a getter and a setter. So we can just do this. Copy these guys. I'm gonna just do that. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna say get. And do that. Oh, God, I'm stealing. So, do is that hacking window controller. All right. And this is gonna be there. Instead of it's gonna be an S. There we go. Oh, nice. And I'm gonna go through this. Come on. Generate these guys. All right. So now we have those. One is going to return something. You're going to return the active active. What do you call it? Hacking. Active. Oh my God. Hacking with the controller. That's what we return. And we go into here. We're going to set that to that. This could also be set to a null pointer, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to do that too to make sure that it doesn't, keep pointers. This is danger of this is that you keep pointers to it when it's getting destroyed. So we have to make sure that it's and of course with the Unreal Engine cleanup system, if you have a pointer hanging somewhere in your code, it will be a memory leak in the end. So that's what we want to avoid. So that's something you have to think about when you're using this system. Anyway, we're going to go, I'm going to open our function library. File function library here. And this is, put it up here. So we're just gonna get. We're gonna have same fucking functions in here. We just need to. I don't know. I should put it. Yeah. Let's find a couple of functions. We have the same here. Set active compass. There we go. It's exactly the same thing. Let's see. Boom. And don't want to use the exact same name. Do that. Remove the active. And let's see. We need to. This one will be the same. That doesn't matter. And there. And we are going to use the world context object so we can get another function in here. Boom. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the UI manager. This is for the setter. And this is going to be set active hacking with controller. And we're going to use this guy right here. Boom. And then we're just going to get it as well. So we're going to return. Get active hacking with the controller. Okay. So we are going to turn a hacking window controller and not the base information widget. Perfect. There we go. And this will need to be forward declared. Come on. There we go. Okay, so this is, as I said, a function library. Fucking awesome, and I love it and use it a lot. Basically, now, what we can do, we can go to our player controller. We know that we are in the client, right? This is an RPC. So we just make sure that we have an active hacking window, right? Which is, it's just a name. It's a base information widget. We needed to drill down into it to get the actual controller, right? But now we can just do this. We can say, let's see, we wanted a function. Let's see, get this guy here. Hacking window controller, and this is going to be a UGD underscore function library colon because it's a static one, and get the function controller, and we're going to use the world context object, and it's going to be this. That's it. Now we got our current hacking window. Of course, we have to set it as well, otherwise we won't be able to get it. However, our hacking window controller has a function called what do you call it? Control station. Now we need to make sure that we get the float. We need to what the hell? Hacking. Oh, we need to include this. There, include the class. All right. So now we have the hacking time controller, and of course our client sync needs to have client sync. There we go. It needs to, of course, have a float, and a float is a perfect valid thing to pass on. So we're gonna do a const float reference. I don't know if we need to do it, But apparently the RPCs is very big fans of const references. So sync time. Get this guy here. Maybe I can't use it with the float. I know that when we're working with strings, you have to use a const reference when it comes to strings. Can't use just a regular f string. Anyway, that one number is there. Just put it in private. Can't be private. It's gotta be public. There we go. All right. That's it there. Nice. What we also want to do is we, of course, want to do an if statement here to make sure that this actually is not an open. Just so we avoid crashes. So, all right. We also want to go back to our ability here because now you have a client sync something. What do we call it? Client sync. Yeah, client sync. So client sync update timer. And we're going to take our timer here. That is the allow time. Boom. There we go. So now that goes to the player controller. That in turn sends it, make sure that it becomes a client thing, and then we send it to the hacking window controller. And we are now in the sync section of the hacking controller and hacking controller station. There we go. Oh. There still be, because we're gonna update that. Will that update that? And then, yeah, I think it actually should do it automatically. Let's test it out. I don't know. Ah. So every 5 seconds, it should automatically update the timer now. And it should jump maybe to 0.2 seconds or something like that. Right. Hacking is commenced. And here we go. Timer. 6, 5. Yeah, it does do a little jump. We could probably minimize that by maybe do it every 4 seconds or something like that, but still too much. That's not good at all. Jeez, that's a big difference. Um, let's do it every 3 seconds. I mean, every 3 seconds is fine. Could do a server tick of every 2 seconds. You know, um, it's not too much. The only thing we don't want is we don't want it 10 times a second. That's the most important thing. Hold on. Can this have a difference if I do update time here to 0.1 as well? Let's see if that makes a difference. Because that one is 0.5, this is 0.1. Does that make a difference? It shouldn't, should it? Maybe it does. They have different... Could be interesting. If you have two different update times, that it could screw something up. I don't know. Okay, let's do this. Let's see here. Now it's the same update time, and we're down to sync interval every 2 seconds instead. Okay, so look at that, 27. Is out of sync a little bit anyway, but now it's not as noticeable. Yeah, 12 to 11 jumps are a little bit different, but it's syncing up. That looks better. It looked better anyway. Let's see if we do this. Let's change this to, let's say, every 5 seconds now. See if it makes a difference. Because I don't want it to have to call more than I need. But, you know, it might also be depending on current frame rate and stuff like that. I don't know. But that's why it's so good to have this on the server with a master instead of having the client, because that means that it's more fair to everybody. Let's grab this. We're just gonna do new calculation here and see. Got any big jumps? Because now it's every 5 seconds. But the update time is the same. 0.1 seconds. I'm happy with that. All right, very happy with that. So that means that we have a sync now every 5 seconds, but the update time is every 0.1 seconds. So the timer is functioning just fine. That's it there. I think that's good for the first stream right now. Um, in a long time. But it was fun. I'm gonna continue doing this. I just need to cool my head and don't care so much about what's happening. But actually, you know, we're just going to code and have fun with it. And see what progress steps we can take. So the next few days, of course, I will be working with this hacking window. So we're gonna get this mini game up and running. Uh, don't know exactly how to do this, but hey, isn't that a part of the fun? Do this, but at least we got the timer working. We got the yeah, awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you stopped by and both Slotten and Deepinder, thanks for chatting away here. Until next time on Swap Up Gaming, take care. Bye bye.